Oh yes, you are welcome back to African Colonization TV and Biafran History. So as it is, everybody is seeing the way Nigeria is going. So Biafran issue, it has now in a point that it is now going global, and then the world have now started discussing about it everywhere around the world. So as it is now, according to the headline, it says Biafra issue goes global. U.S. Congress open door to Nigerian division discussion. Biafran issue goes global. U.S. Congress open door to Nigerian division discussion. So they have now started discussing about this country called Nigeria. So in this video you are going to see it. This is a recent video concerning the U.S. congressmen and the concerning discussion about the report Ramon submitted to Donald Trump. And in this video, you are going to see how people is being debating on the issue of Nigeria, if Nigeria will still remain as one, and what next to do so that they can solve the problem of insecurity and the problem of division in Nigeria. And you will also see here the Igbo people that is talking about the benefit of resources and non-benefit of resources, and those that you need those that you need to look into, and you need to look into what they are doing. Not that anytime people stand up and speak concerning the issue of Biafra, or just make a comment concerning Biafra, before you know the government will start chasing the person, before you know they will lock the person, and they will even kill the person without you knowing what is happening. So all this thing is being discussed in this meeting that they came. So don't skip any part of it. Try to watch to the end, because sometimes once we bring out video like this, people will think that it is not true. Everything we are giving you here is legit and it is true. And many things is happening, but not every media will carry it. So it is not everything that will tell you. As you are seeing it here, that is how it is, and that is how it is happening around the world. So many people, many countries, and many congressmen, they have now started discussing this issue concerning Nigeria, if Nigeria will still remain or if Nigeria will break up. So as you're about to watch, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it for everyone to see what is happening in this country.
Hey, thank you, sir, from Dr. Sugun Suwumi. And
first of all, let me say that on behalf of the people of Nigeria, we thank and truly appreciate the efforts that you put in that country's issues. The second thing that needs to be said very clearly is that the designation as a CPC has done much more than you can imagine its weight in words. The first is that it has given hope to a cross-section of Nigerians that someone is finally listening to what's going on, and Nigeria now matters. Like a bicycle attitude, those with the responsibility of running our country have had over the years. At least now we can see that they are now beginning to shape up, albeit slowly. Now let me try and say very, very firmly without missing words. I'm a Nigerian, I live in Nigeria, I flee from Nigeria. And I have a duty to explain how things should be and how things are. Sometimes when you want to do a good, if you don't get all of the issues from the perspective of those on the inside, you might mistakenly even terrorism. No nation has been able to do it without improvisation or rhetorics. The only part is to be firm, responsible, comprehensive, respect international law. The second thing that needs to be said is that defeating extremism requires rebuilding what the terror people seek to destroy. Community devastated by violence needs more than sympathy. They need roads, they need schools, they need hospitals, they need economic stabilization to return back to the future that was taken from them. Help Nigeria expand its policing infrastructure. Because at the end of the day, rather than classify it as an ethnic group, which most people feel convenient to, which is Fulani, you must understand that's more than 15 million people that live there. And we don't think that 15 million of them are all into this. And if we're not very careful, we'll be sowing seeds that will never be resolved, almost like the one you have in the Middle East. So it's better to just say, we're dealing with some criminal elite people. What we must do now is we must figure out, bless you.
The time, and so I'm going to exert the exert the prerogative of the chair here and turn the question a little bit to the issue, the big elephant that's sitting in the back of the room that nobody's actually talking about, which is what exactly do we do to get the Nigerian government and to get governments around Africa to join. And there's an old joke that how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is none, because the light bulb has to want to change. Right? And so the question here is, how do we kind of work together with other countries in Africa, to get Nigeria to want to change? And there's a lot of different tools for that. And so we have a number of people who are on the list that I'm going to turn to and ask that question to. Okay, because I think better than making statements is the question of, okay, now what next? Okay, and so the first person I'm going to put on the spot is Ambassador, Madam Ambassador, who was the person, she was the ambassador to South Africa, and she understands the diplomatic kind of kabuki dance the diplomats have to do to get people to go along with controversial ideas. So is there a microphone that we can, so that you don't have to get up, is there a microphone we can? Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Are you sending that to Abuja?
No.
Can you direct? Don't send that to Abuja.
No. All right. Don't Abuja for the record. Yeah.
Well,
it's on Zoom anyway.
it has to do immediately, which is the question you asked. Post every soldier to his state of origin. Post every Nigerian soldier to his state of origin. They will not allow their people to be killed and slaughtered. Because national loyalties in Nigeria are primordial. The loyalties are first to the ethnicity and the indigeneity before the Western created contraption called Nigeria. That is true. People owe more loyalties to their Afanifere, to their Ohanese, to their Arewas before the country Nigeria. And it is constitutional. There is a section in the Nigerian constitution that every single Muslim government who have ruled Nigeria more than other administrations have not allowed to be touched. Everybody has a copy of the Nigerian constitution. It is online. Section 219. Section 219 of the Nigerian constitution says, establish the federal character of the Nigerian armed forces. Every single military facility and location in Nigeria must be populated by no less than 75% of the indigenes of the locality of the military facility. Why has government refused to implement it? So what America needs to do is to tell Nigeria, every soldier must be posted to his state of origin. And I tell you something. Yes, I am Igbo. And they invaded the house of Nnamdi Kanu in an operation called Operation Python Dance in September, when was that? Wherever. The soldiers that came to invade the village where boys and young men were marching and wielding rifles, locally made rifles, chanting Biafra hymns, that was no threat to sovereignty. But those soldiers came over weaponized with armored tanks. I thought they were going to invade maybe Benin Republic with a military aircraft or something. It was just a house. And they so spoke Hausa to them and Fulani to them and say, you mounted. So what I posit is that if the soldiers that had come to undertake the Python dance attack were locals who spoke the local lingo to the youths and said, hey, you boys, you don't know that government is angry with this thing you are doing, and flogged them, the consequences would have been different. Thank you.
Thank you. in a Zoom call that we had a couple of weeks ago, one of the other diplomatic issues is the idea of the United States imposing its will and kind of robbing Nigeria of its precious metals. And so that's one of the issues that we're going to have to get the other Africans on board too. Unlike Congress, those of us who've served in the executive branch have to actually make the choir sing, and we have to make them sing together. And so that's really one of the challenges that we have. And so let me just now turn to Dr. Sylvester Onya, and I'm going to give him the microphone and say, and please keep it short, what specifically would you have the administration do to engage the Nigerians in a useful conversation?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Icon. One and foremost thing that somebody have said here is truth. Nigeria is supposed to embrace the truth. And starting from that truth and listening to what is happening from 1967 to 1970, we fought a war, civil war, and people don't like to address it. They don't want to hear anything about Biafra, but Biafra existed before Nigeria. So what had happened is that Nnamdi Kanu, the whistleblower about this particular genocide, Christian genocide that is happening now, that all of us have agreed on, they went after him because he was alerting people that this is going to happen, and it have just happened. What is it today? He's somewhere in Sokoto doing life them for nothing, just telling people that, hey, be careful, government should restructure the system that didn't work, the 67. That the same system is still what we're suffering today. The resources we were talking about one Nigeria, is based on our side, which is the southeast. But when we hear about resources, it's one Nigeria. Who is benefiting from one Nigeria? Sir, I should ask you that, because you're just coming from Nigeria. Who is benefiting? Thank you.
So, we're looking at you're seeing part of the problem here, but I'd like to ask Judge Saul, who's working with with people on the ground, to say, what precisely do you need from the United States government and from the Nigerian government to solve some of these problems? Because it's going to take a while.
Sure. I'll try to make this very brief and short and sweet. What we need from the American government is partnership with local village security teams and local authorities. You cannot do business and trust the Nigerian government apparatus because it has been fully infiltrated by the Fulani ethnic militia. The other thing that the U.S. government needs to do is the State Department, the embassy, and the various agencies need to get on the same page. We've been running into many roadblocks with information that we've been trying to give to the U.S. government. There are people inside the embassy, in the bureaucracy, I call it the deep state, sorry not to get conspiratorial here, that are fighting us and fighting our mission within our own government. And there are people within the Trump administration that are withholding key information about what's really going on in Nigeria, preventing our success. So everybody does need to get on the same, sing the same chorus and get on the same harmony. And I have one critical thing I want to say, and it's a warning, and I want this on record for everybody listening and watching. We have information, we've gathered information just very recently, that the Fulani ethnic militia are weaponizing and gathering forces along the Plateau-Nasarawa border, along the Nasarawa-Benue border, and along the Nasarawa-Kaduna border, and they're planning to hit on Christmas, Riam, Bokos, Kafachan in Kaduna, and Agatu in Benue. We've gotten very reliable information that they're gearing up, they're arming, they're weaponizing, they're planning on another Christmas massacre, and I'm imploring the Nigerian government and President Donald Trump, do something now so we don't have a bunch of dead Christians on Christmas in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Dr. Charles Jacob, you have something? Because we have an International Freedom Coalition and African Jewish Alliance. Please keep it. Yeah, freedom. Yeah,
my name is Charles Jacobs from the African Jewish Alliance. I worked with Congressman Wolf and Chris Smith 25 years ago because there was a jihad in Sudan, and we brought back the slaves that were captured, and that got to President Bush, and he created South Sudan, which is the newest state. It's incredible that we have broken through the news barrier, that now people can talk about Nigeria because Islamophobia, you can't talk about it, but we in this room have made a tremendous effort. I want to thank Stephen and Nada also for getting this. We broke it through. So now Bill Maher's talking about this, Van Jones talking about this, the Charlie Kirk Christian Empire is aflame about this, help save. I'm a rhetorician. One thing that might help us rhetorically, we don't need to talk about Islam. Talk about jihadism. That's all. Talk about jihadism, because Nigeria is not the only place. The jihad has spread now to 20 African countries, and Nigeria was the first to break through, but we can actually organize others as well. And by the way, there are 23 peoples in this world who are attacked by jihadism, from Christian Copts, from Kurds, from Yazidis, from Druze, from Indians, etc. We are working to put those people in one group. So just rhetorically, let's use the word jihadism, and let's see ourselves as part of. Nigeria is just one tentacle of the global jihad. Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody says that it is not genocide going on in Nigeria, that person is either compromised or is benefiting from the genocide, or is part of those who are encouraging the genocide. Secondly, state police, I want to align with you. State police is very, very important and very crucial right now. Nigeria can implement it so that all these jihadists who have been incorporated into the national forces, the police, the army, and all that, when you emphasize or establish state police, they will be able to eliminate the bad eggs from among them, and the governors will have the power to influence and control the insecurity. Thank you.
Yeah. Please, we recognize Major General Henry Ayola retired, and even Apostle Ladi Thompson, but we would like maybe response finally from Congressman Smith. If maybe then we just try to.
Thank you. Great recommendations. Obviously, we really aggressively have to sustain this effort. My sense from the Nigerians is they think this might be a flash in the pan and we'll move on to other things. That's not going to happen. I can tell you, there are so many members of Congress now who are even more mobilized than ever. The State Department, especially with the Secretary of State, and of course Donald Trump himself. And so we're looking for results. The idea that there's going to be a Christmas strike by the Fulani and actionable information that you have, we need to make sure.
To my brothers and sisters in Biafra, you must know there is so much work going on in the United States of America and around the world with literally, of the people I know, hundreds of people, just myself, reaching out to my fellow parishioner in my home church of St. Gertrude, J.D. Vance, the vice president, to all the many hundreds of people reaching out to so many people. You must know this $9 million that has been wasted on lobbying efforts in D.C. is going to be worthless because it's not having an effect. The word has gotten out. People know that Mazi is innocent. People know about the abhorrent genocidal type efforts that are happening to you in Biafra. And I promise you, good things are happening and about to unfold. Evans?
Well, my brother, I tell you, they may have the money, but we've got the truth.
Amen.
And truth will trump money every day. Amen. What's happening to Nnamdi Kanu is atrocious, and there is no amount of money, there's no amount of lobbying that is going to hide the truth. We are working feverishly every day walking the halls of the Congress, making sure that every lie they tell is counteracted by the truth. And the people are listening because the truth is usually clear. If you can't believe someone because they've told you a lie, how can you believe anything else that comes out of them? Remember, this whole idea of Christian genocide was something that is non-existent. This current government covered it up. 3 weeks ago, they covered it up. 2 months ago, they're lying about it. If they lie about that, they're lying about everything else. You cannot believe whatever you've heard regarding this innocent man languishing in jail. He needs to be out. He doesn't belong there. And the truth, and only that, will set all of us free, including Nnamdi Kanu himself. We will not relent. We will not relent.
Amen.
Will not relent.
Amen.
Whatever it takes.
And no, the proof, you saw the proof in both the truth sent out by the President of the United States and what happened on December 25th. And people all over America. Just an hour ago, I held hands with friends down the street and we prayed. And you continue to pray as well, because with prayer and the truth, nothing will stop justice from being done.
Amen.
My country people, we are still in the meeting on how to handle Nigerian issue, whether to separate Islam from Christians. Keep sharing it. If you are not following it, go to Ifuna Victoria channel. You will see the beginning of this meeting and watch it serially. Don't forget to
Truth Nigeria in the last year and a half has been reporting on the ransom camps that are in the forests throughout Kaduna, Taraba, Nasarawa, Benue. These ransom camps, many of them are located near military installations in these forests. This is where, and kidnapping for ransom has become an industry in Nigeria. Yes. It is what is funding the terror. It's what's funding the slaughter and the occupied villages that are not being returned to the people who rightfully own the lands. So these ransom camps, it's like open-air Auschwitz in the middle belt of Nigeria. We can't see it because of the foliage. You can't get satellite imagery on top of that. You can't just drone strike because there are people who live in the forests. But the military installations near to these camps, where people, ordinary people like you and me, they get hauled out of their villages, they're held in these camps, they're starved, tied to trees, beaten every single day, and it doesn't matter your age. Infants, small children, pregnant women, the elderly. These are the people who are being held in these starvation ransom camps, and nobody's talking about it. And nothing will change until this industry of kidnapping for ransom is disrupted in Nigeria. And it has to be attended to. And if Tinubu is going to tell us that he's protecting the Christians, he's going to raid those camps and free the people who are being held for ransom there. One person will go to pay a ransom for a brother or a sister. The ransom is taken, that person is freed, the person who brought the ransom is hauled in. And it's happening to entire communities that are being bankrupted through these ransom payments, and they're forced into IDP camps, into Abuja, into Lagos. This is how you clear the land. This is how genocide happens.
Thanks, Steve. Happy to take any questions.
Yes, I have a first, thank you for what you do. He's one of the most celebrated Americans in Nigeria because of what he's done. And my name is Stephen Osemige, president of Save Nigeria Group. His alerts we share. Once he posts, I have a bell on his social media. Once he posts, quickly, Doug has posted, and I want to thank you for what True Nigeria is doing. My question is, in Nigeria, the Fulani is a large ethnic group. So there is always this fight about how do you identify the fact that the Fulani Islamic militia is separate from that group. Because, for example, Nuhu Ribadu, who is linked to the lobby of $9 million that's going on, he's a Fulani. Anytime the U.S. delegation go to Nigeria, they are meeting with Fulanis most likely because they are mainly the leaders of the country. So how do you separate that? Because I see that's where the pushback is coming from, because we need to identify it. I just wanted to, if you've had to deal with that.
No, I'll explain. The politicians that are Fulani are in bed with the terrorists. That's it. That's it. Look, right? The Fulani that are the top politicians are the ones directly laying cover for the terrorists. Okay? And we know for a fact that some of these politicians meet regularly with the terrorists that are orchestrating the attacks. Guys, everybody knows this. The Nigerians know this. The Nigerian government knows this. But for some reason, we can't get people in our State Department to really recognize this. Sorry, one other rant real quick, if you don't mind, is that I know for a fact that our government still has not given a directive to the intelligence agencies to even look at the Fulani. Yeah. There is no operating directive to look at the Fulani by our United States government. It's ISIS and Boko Haram, the shiny names, not the people that are doing the mass majority killing of Christians. So please, if you have connections, if you know people in the government, Fulani ethnic militia, let's start doing some work with the U.S. government to look at the Fulani ethnic militia and quit thinking you can get full cooperation and honesty from the Nigerian government because they're lying through their teeth to your face.
And on the government, you really need to, and Congress could pass a law that when you've been designated as a country of particular concern, no meetings with lobbyists for countries of particular concern until they are meeting their standards.
You added that. Yeah. So we'll keep that as mind. So anything, so Nigeria's at CPC, country of particular concern. There's no reason for a lobbying group from the U.S. to be sending messages from them, right, or helping them. So appreciate that. Scott, we got about 5 more minutes and then we have to be out of the room. Not that I'm giving you 5 minutes, Scott. I'll give you a minute. 1 minute.
Oh, I'll take more than a minute. Actually, I want to go even further than what Didi just said about the CPC status. Under the CPC status, the United States is not allowed to transfer any military equipment or provide any military training to countries that are on the CPC list. But yet, we know last week, a delegation of the Nigerian military went to San Diego to check on the status of 12 Cobra attack helicopters that have been on order since the Biden administration. That could be a nice little item to put in Truth Nigeria.
Yeah, we'll do a story on that. Thank you.
Be a nice item to put in the Daily Caller.
Yeah, thank you.
I actually saw it on the Defense Digest and this Defense Industrial site.
Oh.
You know, they always, and we know for several years Nigerians have been adamant about purchasing U.S. attack helicopters. Twice they tried to purchase them secondhand from Gulf states. Twice the U.S. stepped in and denied the sales under the use of end user certificates.
So we'll look into that. Thank you, sir.
I think just to be clear, no one in this room is saying Fulani are evil, Fulani must be annihilated. Exactly. Fulani are people, it's a people group. It goes from Chad all the way across to Senegal, different varied people. It's the militia, those who are armed, anyone linked with it, the bandits, the so-called ethnic militia, whatever we're calling them.
Fulani ethnic militia.
People are, that's the terror. Those are the ones we got to be watching for. In fact, many in the room have Fulani friends. I myself have Fulani friends who want us to stop as well. So, one more comment.
I'm amazed. I'm impressed. I felt like I won a lotto. I never knew these guys are like this. The Bible says, from their fruit you shall know them. And I want to use this opportunity to thank you. I am Dr. Chuck Abodema. I've been in America for the past 35 years. And my friends now are ministers and commissioners in Nigeria. So when I went to Nigeria, I found out that I'm not in Nigeria. I don't belong to Nigeria. My good friend Mohammed, we all live in New York, Mohammed Shehu, he's the chairman of revenue allocation. Actually, he's the one that financed all this money they are giving. He's an American citizen. He's in Nigeria. So I got disappointed. I could not, when I see these guys on TV, I was so impressed seeing what's going on. Because I've been fighting this battle from Obasanjo and Bush when Obasanjo wants to come for the third issue. Yeah. So the fact remains that the CIA have said in 2030 Nigeria will not exist. Nigeria is going to be like Rwanda or worse than Rwanda. The one thing the Muslims have is patience. Their dream is to take over and annihilate Nigeria, regardless. They've been doing this since Biafran War. Since 1967 to 1970, they are very patient. They're going to double down again. They're going to wait. If America comes now, they're going to comply. Look at what happened in Afghanistan. When American soldiers went there, worked with them, they came back and killed them. Look at what happened when Arafat and Clinton came here about Jerusalem. Arafat told them, don't worry, you can take Jerusalem. When he went back, there's a language they trusted that is Yaqui. I have a paper that I'm going to distribute all this. All this, okay, don't worry. That's what they're going to use. They have their own strategies. It's about strategy. Nigeria is in jeopardy, and we're going to die. There won't be existence of the Igbos no more. Because my friend Mohammed don't talk to me today. He has blocked me, he has done anything. But when it comes to America, we are Nigeria. When you go to Nigeria, it's Nigeria. I'm an American. Please, I thank you. We're in trouble. We're going to all die. Please, thank you.
All right, wrap it up. Okay, thank you again for coming. Those who came, appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, yes. This is a very wonderful discussion and a wonderful wonderful setting in the US. That is a US Congress meeting. The discussion is discussed concerning Nigeria problem and then the issues that is surrounding Nigeria and Biafra also. If Nigeria will still exist as one country or if everybody will depart and go their separate ways. So I hope everybody has seen the whole stories and the whole thing, how the people have been talking and they speaking the truth and how the Tinubu government they paid 900 million US dollar for them to lobby the evil that is going on in Nigeria, the genocide, and that is why you see it's like everything is now coming down. That is the intention of coming to Nigeria is now coming down because of the money Tinubu paid is in fact is too much. It's too much. And the thing that his own APC men they are doing because in fact they are campaigning heavily to stop US not to come into Nigeria. And then that is why you see it's like the tension is dropping like before. So and again the issue surrounding the Iran war is also affecting. So we are now waiting to see if when the Iran war end. We believe that they will start looking into Nigeria again. This is just a recent meeting and the recent discussion, the recent seats concerning Nigeria and concerning the issue of Biafra. So as I'm watching, like, subscribe, make sure you share it for everyone to see what is really going on around the world and in Nigeria. What do you think about the whole thing? Like, subscribe, and share it for everyone to see. We say thank you for watching.